Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Emma. Thank you for choosing to practice with me today. We'll be getting started today in a comfortable seated position. Feel free to grab a block and sit on a block if that feels better. Just cross one shin in front of the other. Bring your hands to your knees, thighs, or into your lap. And then when you feel ready, take a deep breath in and close your eyes. Let your shoulder blades melt down your spine, and just without any judgment or expectation, start to scan your body and notice what might be present for you this morning, this afternoon. Notice the positioning of your body, sensations of the breath coming in, breath coming out. The quality, the depth of the breath. And just by noticing that, you probably make your breath a little bit deeper, more intentional, slower, and if not, start to modify it. It might even help to bring the hands to the ribs to feel the expansion and contraction of the belly, the lungs. A few more breaths here. Return the hands to the knees if they're not already. Drop your chin to your chest, and then like your nose is drawing big, big circles, start to circle the neck. So first it's just an isolated movement with the neck, and then as we go, feel free to make it a little bit bigger, get your shoulders, your torso involved, going the same direction that you started going in. And if you've made those movements pretty big, start to make them a little bit smaller once again, until you're back to those neck rolls in the same direction. The next time your chin comes to your chest, we'll just switch directions. So again, starting small, like the nose is drawing circles up and around. And then if you'd like to add in any bigger movements, maybe a circle of the torso, get your shoulders involved, move the ribs. And if you've made those circles pretty big, start to make them smaller once again. We'll meet back with a neutral spine. You can keep the eyes closed or gently open the eyes. Stretch both arms out and up. Let's take a twist over to the left. Right hand on the knee, left fingers behind you. Try to look back over that left shoulder. Breathe in and all the way out. Again, breathing in and out. Take your left arm up and over, grab your opposite knee. Think cat back here. Rounding, spreading the shoulder blades, feeling space in your upper back for 3, 2, 1. Fingertips behind you, push in behind your heart, lift your sternum, drop your head back, and take a lion's breath in. Tongue out. Back through center, switch the legs, opposite shin in front. Stretch both arms out and up. Take a twist over to your right. Inhale, sitting up. Exhale, looking over right shoulder. One more breath. Right arm up and over the left arm. Round your back, spread your shoulder blades. Pull your belly button back towards your spine for 3, 2, 1. Fingertips behind you. Push in behind the heart. Lift your chest, spread your collarbones. Lion's breath in. Tongue out. All right, cross over your ankles. Grab a tabletop position. Cat-cow. Inhale, arch, exhale, round. And of course, if there's any other free form movement that feels good, feel free to go there. Really exaggerate the movement and exaggerate the breath. Letting the movement follow the pace of the breath. It's oftentimes nice to close the eyes, kind of take away any distraction, comparison, or outward thinking. Last 2 breaths, any movement with your spine. We'll meet in a puppy pose. Walking the hands forward. You can grab the front of the mat, forehead down or chin down, melting in behind the heart. Spread the toes, push the toenails down. Think about the sternum sinking into the ground. Slide onto your belly. Sliding the hands back underneath so the palms are in line with the ribs. Roll yourself up to a cobra pose. When we do cobra, you're not dumping into the shoulders, you're pinning the shoulders back, shining the heart forward. The waistline's drawing in and the inner thighs are spiraling towards the mat. Make sure your heels are not flopping outwards. Let's lower ourselves right back down. Use that same action here to roll up once again. And right back down, use your triceps. Let's do one more. Inhale up. Look right, look left, wiggle around a little bit if that feels good. Maybe rolling out the neck. And then roll yourself right back down. Spike your toes to the mat and firm your quadriceps. Feel the kneecaps and the thighs almost lift off the mat. Can you even pull the belly up and in, get stronger through your core. Firm your glutes, push your palms through the ground and press up to a plank pose. Stack your shoulders over your wrists. Imagine dragging your hands back and start to feel your lats. Feel the hip points pull forward and find your lower abs. Downward facing dog. Try to keep the feet where they are lengthwise. So if you need to step them in a little closer, that's fine. But many times we're in too short of a down dog, so you're not really getting that hamstring stretch as much. So if you were in down dog, I want you to roll forward to plank again. Make sure the shoulders are over the wrists, then push back to down dog. If you need to bend the knees, that's totally fine. You might even like to pedal out the legs a little bit here. I know, I've been practicing for a long time and my down dog gets pretty short at some points. It's easier that way for me, especially if you have shorter legs. So try to keep that down dog nice and long. Lengthen your arms, stretch your waist. Let's bring the feet together and send the right leg up. You might even like to drop down to the right forearm or the left forearm. The right hand can grab the outer edge of the mat as you circle out that right hip. And don't be married to or stuck in these movement patterns. You can always explore, find something different. Let's go right foot down. Option to drop right forearm, left hand can grab the outer edge of the mat as you take the left leg up, bending, stacking, moving around any fashion. Let's give yourself permission to explore. Try not to get stuck in those patterns. We'll go left foot down, your feet are touching, back up onto the hands. Tippy toes, hugging the ankle bones in. Walk it all the way up to the front, each step a little bit wider than the last. Grab a forward fold here. I like to just grab the elbows, it's my favorite, but any other variation's good. Hands behind the head, arms hanging, grabbing the ankles, whatever you like to do. You are the creator of your own practice, so feel free to make it your own. You can always adjust, adapt. If you're rounding your back, bend your knees more, rest your ribs on your thighs. As you breathe in, pull your sternum forward. As you breathe out, let your head hang heavy. Let's switch out the arms or the fingers if you've got a specific grip. And with every breath, feel a little bit of that action. The inhales lengthening, the exhales folding. Release your arms, walk your hands over to the right. Little bend in the right knee, pull the left hip back. Then it's almost like the outer left armpit is going towards the right ankle. Walk your hands over to the left, bend your left knee, pull the right hip crease back. Think outer right armpit towards the left ankle. Walk your hands through center, let the arms dangle, maybe even sway a little bit as you ragdoll yourself all the way up to standing. Roll the shoulders out a few times. Let's stretch both arms out and up. Grab your opposite elbows up top and lean over to your right. Pull the bottom ribs down. Back through center. Take it to the left. Back through center, hands to the low back or make a bind. Lift your chest, lean back. Send the hips forward, but get light in the toes. Big inhale. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Shake your head no and yes. Move your jaw any way you like. And then release your hands. Lift up halfway. Step back to plank pose. Right foot, then left foot. Shift forward, knees up or down, lower chaturanga. Try not to sag the hips or the shoulders. Everything lowers at the same time. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Pin the shoulder heads back. Exhale, downward facing dog. Just one breath here, even in. Breathe all the way out. Lift your heels, look forward, step right foot, then left foot to the front. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Inhale, rise, reach up. Exhale, take it right back down. Halfway lift. Step back, left foot, then right foot to plank pose. Gaze forward as you lower, tone your belly. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog again. Just one breath, breathe in. Through the nose, breathe out. Look forward, step, left foot, right foot to the front, half lift. Fold in. Inhale, rise. Exhale, take it down. Half lift. Step back or jump back. If you're stepping back, just alternating which foot goes first. Inhale, exhale, down dog. One breath. Look forward, step or jump to the front, half lift, forward fold. Rise. Take it back down, last round. Halfway. Step or jump back, chaturanga dandasana on the exhale. Inhale, urdhva, upwards. Exhale, adho, downward facing dog. Lift your heels, look forward, step or jump to the front. Halfway lift, fold. This time sit back, utkatasana, reach up. Look at your knees. We want the knees to stay in one line. So if utkatasana ever hurts your knees, you can always separate the feet hip width, but the knees are still going to remain in one line. Take an inhale. Exhale, twist open to the right, and then drop your gaze down to your knees. The left knee has a tendency to go forward. How you can fix that is by pulling the left hip back. That will help you feel the twist more from your torso, less from your hips. Reach both arms up. Twist open to the left. The right hip has to pull back a little bit, so you feel this twist from your belly. Reach both arms up. Sweep your arms back. Squeeze your triceps. Notice if you're arching your back. Soften the rib cage up and in. Lift your heels. Hug the ankle bones in and choose a spot on the ground to focus your gaze. Keep your gaze there as you rise all the way up to stand, standing on the balls of the feet or the tippy toes. It should be hard. The faster you go, it's going to be a lot harder. Keep your gaze unmoving on one spot. Take an inhale. Exhale, twist open to the right. Again, go nice and slow and pay attention to the hips here. That left hip has to pull back once again. Hug the ankle bones in, squeeze the inner thighs. It should be challenging. Reach both arms up, use your calf muscles. Twist open to the left, take it slow. Reach the fingers away from each other and pull your right hip back. You want the twist to come from the middle. You feel it in your belly. Hug the ankle bones in. Reach both arms up. Keep the heels lifted as long as you can. Swan dive all the way down. Heels down, Malasana, knees going wide, or Yogi squat. Yogi squat's a nice alternative to Malasana. It can be a lot on the knees. You're trying to get the heels down, maybe walking the hands back, grabbing the heels. You're using the triceps to block the shins, pushing the shins back, sternum pulling forward. Keep the big toes touching if possible. Roll some weight to the inner edges of the feet for 3, 2, 1. Drop your butt to the ground. Navasana, boat pose. Legs straight's going to be harder than knees bent easier. Take the rounding out of your back. Lift your sternum and plug the shoulders back. Steady your gaze and steady your breath for 5, 4, 3, 2. Lower your low back to the mat. Keep your legs floating. Bonus points to stretch your arms up overhead. Glue the low back to the ground by pulling the bottom ribs in. Belly button down for 5. Low boat pose for 4. Breathe for 3, 2. Lower all the way down. Bend your knees, plant your feet flat. Counter pose bridge. Arms by your side. Scoop your tailbone and lift your hips. You can even wiggle the shoulder blades a little bit more underneath you. And if you have the space, you could wiggle your feet or your hands towards your feet, palms up, the heels on the fingertips. Think about the heels driving down and trying to drag the hands forward. 3, 2, 1. Release the hands if they're trapped. Lower the hips down. Grab the back of your legs, rock up and down your spine 2 or 3 times. And then after your last one, take any exit you like. Step back, jump back, Bakasana, handstand. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. All right, let's lift that right leg up behind us. Keep your hips square. That means the outer right hip has to go down. Push evenly into your palms. Tiptoe onto the left fingertips. Gaze forward. See if you can float your left hand off the mat and maybe reach that left hand back by your side. Palm facing in. Maybe you try to bend the right knee and tap the toes. If you're flexible, you could even grab the inner right foot for 3, 2, 1. Left hand down, step right foot forward. Come up to a high lunge crescent warrior. Pull the right hip back, feel the hip points lift, bottom ribs down. Take your left arm under your right arm into eagle arms. If that doesn't work out, bring those forearms together, same idea. I personally like to hinge my weight forward to help my balance here. We're going into eagle pose. That left leg wrapping up and over the right leg. Feel free to put the toes down as a kickstand. Notice we have a tendency to turn the torso to the right. You've got to pull the left hip back, kind of like I was talking about in Utkatasana. That's going to help keep you square towards the front. Lift the elbows, push the forearms forward, spread your shoulder blades for 3, 4, 5, drop your elbows towards your top knee. Unravel your legs, eagle 3. Drop the outer left hip, push in behind the heart and feel the elbows and the fingers go forward. Lengthen your sides. 3 count, step back into humble eagle, 3. Start to bend your right knee, nice and slow, 2. 1, left foot finds the ground, your feet are like warrior 1, humble eagle pose. Swing the right shoulder inside the right knee to push the right knee to the right. Right hip pushing to the left, and then again, the sternum is almost pushing forward. As you do that, the elbows and the fingers go forward, so you feel less rounding in the upper back, 3. 2. 1, release, Dandasana at the back of the mat. Deeply bend your left knee and flex your right toes. Let's try right peace sign finger to the right big toe. Maybe the left arm reaching up. Push in, low back. Take the rounding out. Get heavy through that left heel. If possible, look up at left hand for 3. For 2. And 1. Wide leg forward fold. Line your fingers up with your toe tips or walk the hands back a little bit. Chaturanga arms so you're bending at the elbows. Squeeze your legs and roll some weight forward without gripping into the toes. Let your head be totally heavy. Low belly squeeze. One more breath. Lift up halfway. Walk around to the back of your mat and drop your back knee. Let's reach both arms up to an Anjaneyasana B, low lunge. Grab hold of your right wrist here and lean over to your left. You could also put your left fingertips down all the way to the ground if you have space. Let's hook right elbow outside of left thigh. Take a prayer twist to the left. Wiggle into it, then tuck your back toes, lift your right knee off the mat. Push your left palm down into your right palm. Stack the elbows. And release, pyramid pose. Right foot bumps out and up. Toes angled out. Feel the left hip pull back, folding over your left leg. Like I've been saying, sternum, like someone's almost pushing from behind you, pushing in behind your heart. That helps your sternum go forward. Revolving triangle, right hand inner outside foot. You don't want to be rounding forward here, so if you need to, come up onto the fingertips or use a block, send the left arm up. Bump the hips back to the right. Again, the twist should be coming from the middle. We're trying to take the pelvis, the rotation of the hips out of it by keeping it neutral. If it feels all right on your neck, look up at left hand for 3. 2. 1, left hand down. Slide your right knee up behind your left ankle and take a seat. So we're in Ardha Matsyendrasana, facing the back of the mat, that left leg's on top. If that's too much, extend your bottom leg straight here. Reach your right arm up and take a twist to the left. You can just go regular, fingertips behind you, or prayer hand twist. You're gonna have to use your core, your torso a bit more for that. Push down with the ball of your left foot. Get your left sitting bone on the ground. Think sternum towards the thumbs, looking back over left shoulder for 3. 2. 1, unwind, counter stretch to the right. Push yourself back up. This top leg, left leg, is gonna swing back behind you. You're in a pigeon pose, facing the back of your mat. Feel free to drop down to your forearms. Any props you need are always welcomed, or a seated figure 4 is a great alternative too. Many times in pigeon pose, we add a thread the needle twist to the right here. It would be the left arm underneath. We're gonna do the opposite today. So threading the right arm underneath, I like to interlace my hands here and then use that left hand to kind of drag the right hand over to the left. And then I'm trying to kind of lean back to the right. Press down through the outer edge of your left foot so the hips stay level. Now, if that's going well, you could bend the elbows and turn that into a prayer twist. Your right elbow is likely digging into the mat. If you have space, you could try to get this right elbow outside of the right foot and take a prayer twist like that. But keep rolling the outer left hip down to level out your hips. Again, the twist is coming from the middle, not the hips, for 3, 2, 1. Release that. Tuck your back toes. Lift your back knee, figure 4, down dog. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Push your right knee back. I like to bend the left knee to help with stability. We're gonna walk the hands all the way back towards the left foot into a balancing figure 4 pose. Bring your hands to your heart center. Flex your toes. Bring your left hand to your left hip. Your right peace sign finger will grab your big toe, your knee, or your heel, and take your right leg out to the right. So if you did this in Skandasana, that probably helped you. Same idea with the right leg in Skandasana. So the inner thigh going up, the inner heel kicking forward, stand up tall for 3, 2. Bring that right leg back through center. We're going back to figure 4 pose, crossing right ankle over left thigh. Now hooking the right elbow outside of the right foot. It should be challenging, prayer hands twist. Push left hand down into right hand. You have to push the foot into the elbow and the elbow into the foot. Few options here. You're welcome to stay. You're welcome to open the arms or arm balance. That right foot is standing on the right tricep. Both hands on the ground. Lean your weight to the left. Push your right foot into your tricep and kick your left foot out to the left, grasshopper pose. Gaze to the left foot for 3, for 2, and 1. We'll all meet back in that twisted figure 4 pose. Release the twist and slide your right leg over your left leg, fold. Your ankles are crossed. Feel free to shake the head, walk the hands to the right. Walk your hands through center. Pivot on your feet, turn around and face the front of your mat. Padangusthasana, grab your big toes, lengthen on the inhale, fold on the exhale. Always feel free to bend the knees. We want the rib cage on the thighs, squeezing the belly, squeezing the upper thighs. Roll some weight into the big toes. Pull with the fingers for 3, for 2, and 1. Release, half lift. Exhale, step back or jump back, chaturanga to the bottom of your breath. Inhale up, exhale, down dog. Lift your left leg up, keep your hips square, prop up onto the right fingertips. Reach your right hand back. Now I like to bring the gaze forward for stability, so the right arm's by the side, palm in. Bend your left knee, maybe tap the toes or grab the foot for 3. Left palm push down and forward for 2. And 1. Right hand down, step your left foot forward. Come up to a high lunge, crescent warrior. Back heels off the mat. Your hips are squared. It's like someone's squeezing the outer hips in, so try not to let the hips bow out to the left. Inhale. Exhale, right arm under. I like to hinge forward to help with stability as I come up into eagle pose, right leg wrapping over left leg. Notice the body wants to turn to the left. You're trying to turn to face the front. Right hip, right rib cage has to pull back. And then the bottom ribs soften down, tone your belly. Feel the back of your skull lift, lengthen your neck. One more breath. Drop your elbows to your top knee. Choose an unmoving spot to focus your gaze and unravel your legs. Eagle 3. Flex your right foot, lift up from your heel. Sternum pushing forward, elbows, fingers, and turn go forward. 3 count, step back to humble eagle. 3. Start to bend your left knee. 2. 1. Right foot finds the ground. Warrior 1 feet. You're inside the left leg. Left shoulder pushing left knee to the left. Sternum, elbows, fingers, swinging forward. Lighter left toes. Heavier blade of the right foot for 3. For 2. And 1. Unravel the arms. Take it to the back of your mat. Skandasana. Deeply bend your right knee. Option, left peace sign fingers to the left big toe. Reach your right arm up. So really got to drive down through the right heel. Squeeze your left quadriceps. Push your low back in, and if it feels all right, look up at that right hand for 3. For 2. 1. Wide leg forward fold. Feel free to grab the big toes, the ankles. Take it upside down headstand if you'd like. Make sure all 10 toes are pointing in the same direction or a little bit in, so you feel the inner thighs almost rolling back. Shoulder blades away from the ears, nice long sides of the neck. One more. Halfway lift. Walk around to the back of your mat and drop your back knee. Reach both arms up to Anjaneyasana B, low lunge. Grab your left wrist and lean over to your right side. If you have space, you can always go right fingertips to the ground here. Hook your left elbow outside of your right thigh. Readjusting the mic. Prayer twist. Tuck back toes, lift your left knee, right knee to the right, right hip back into the left. Pump up your left leg, sternum to thumbs. If that feels all right, look up for 3. 2. And 1, pyramid pose. Try not to fall into it. Move slowly, intentionally. The right hip pulling back, left hip pushing forward. Like someone's pushing in behind the heart. Let the sternum pull forward. Relax your jaw. Left hand down, mat or block. Right arm reaching up, revolving triangle pose. Feel the right hip crease pulling back. To push down with the left hand and to reach up. Try not to let that right arm fall back behind you. You're just reaching up to the ceiling, looking up if it feels all right for 3. 2. 1, right hand down. We're gonna drop that left knee outside of the right ankle and take a seat. If this is too much on your bottom knee, please go ahead and extend your left leg straight instead. Reach your left arm up and take a twist to your right. You can go regular, right fingers behind you, or prayer hands twist. Push down with the ball of your right foot, right sitting bone heavy. Sternum to thumbs. Prayer hand's gonna require a bit more squeeze of the torso, twisting for 3. 2. 1, unwind, counter stretch to the left. Little dip down like a push-up. Press yourself back up. Unravel that right leg, swing it behind you. Pigeon pose on the left. Facing the back of the mat. Any props you want to use, please feel free. Relax your jaw, your face. All right, so many times we would twist, threading the right arm underneath. We're gonna do the opposite. Thread the left arm under like thread the needle. I like to start by interlacing the hands and think about the right hand trying to pull the left hand. And then you're kind of leaning back to the left. You feel this awesome counter stretch, like you're creating the resistance. Press down through the outer edge of the right foot. And if that's going well, you can turn that into a prayer twist. The left elbow's likely digging into the mat, stacking the elbows. Or if you've got the space, I'm not sure I do on this side, you want the left elbow outside of the left foot. Press down through the outer edge of the right foot. So you want to feel the right outer hip dropping. It's pretty intense, so be gentle. 3, 2, 1. Release that. Hands down, tuck your back toes. Lift your back knee, figure 4, down dog. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh. I like to bend the right knee as I walk my hands back into a balancing figure 4 pose. Hands at heart is great. Flex your left toes. Right hand to the right hip, left peace sign fingers. Grab the big toe, the knee, or the heel. As you stand up, take your left leg to the left. Scoop the left glute underneath. I want to feel the inner thigh go up, the outer thigh go down behind you. Scoop your left glute, tailbone towards the right heel. Tone your belly. 3. Steady gaze. 2. 1. Bring that left leg back through center. We're going to cross left ankle over right thigh back to figure 4 pose. Hook your left elbow outside of your left foot into balancing figure 4 twist. Flex the left foot. The foot has to push into the tricep, tricep into the foot. Stack the elbows. Few options. Stay, open arms, or arm balance. I'm honestly not sure if I can do the arm balance on the side, so we'll try it together. The hands will go down. The left foot has to stand on the left tricep. Bend the elbows, lean a little to the right, and kick the right foot out to the left. 3. I'm definitely slipping. 2. 1. Bring yourself back up. It's so hard. Back to that twist. Unwind, slide the left foot over the right foot and fold. Walk your hands to the left. The foot on the tricep has to be stable. That's what's going to hold the pose for you. Walk your hands right. Pivot on your feet to face the front. Slide hands under feet. Pada Hastasana. Lengthen on the inhale. Fold on the exhale. It's a really challenging pose. You've got an extreme hip opener, arm balance, and a very big twist, all in one. Many times people think arm balances are just about the upper body strength, but it's really so much more than that. It's your core strength. It's also a lot of flexibility to even get into the shape. One more breath here. Release, half lift. Step or jump back, final vinyasa. From down dog, look forward, step or jump through to seated. We're gonna lie down onto our back. Feet flat, 1 back bend, bridge or upward facing bow. We did a bridge in the middle of class, so you might be ready for up bow. Scoop your tailbone, make sure those toes point forward, lift your hips. Push knees forward, chest back. Breathe down your abdomen. Two more breaths. Lower yourself down. Hug your knees in. Rock gently side to side. Rock it up to a seated fold. I'll do Paschimottanasana, but if you prefer wide leg seat or Baddha Konasana, feel free to do that instead. Inhale and exhale, fold over your legs. Feel free to bend your knees, keep flexing the toes. Spread the toes apart, like you don't want them to touch each other. I was just listening to a podcast all about like joint and actually just mobility and health. They said one of the main predictors is if you can spread your toes apart and not get them to touch each other. So now I've been really practicing that. Now again, I just heard this on a podcast. I don't know how much truth there is to it, but I don't think it can hurt you. Begin to walk yourself back and lie down onto your back. Extend the legs up, waterfall or shoulder stand. I've got something going on with my shoulder, so I'm just gonna do waterfall. If you're doing shoulder stand, use your palms more than your fingers, so you feel less pressure in your wrists. You can always grab a block and do shoulder stand with a block as well. Keep moving the breath. If in shoulder stand, plow pose. If in plow pose, ear pressure pose. Nice and slow, roll yourself out. If you were in shoulder stand, plow, ear pressure, definitely want to do a fish pose. Fingertips under the waistband, puff up your chest, head dropping back. Breathe in, tongue out. Lower yourself down. Draw the knees in and take the arms wide. We're going to drop the knees left. You can feel free to wrap up the legs if you like. Just soften the inner thighs, let the shoulder blades be heavy. Unravel through center. Knees together or left leg wrapped on top, knees going right, look left. Unwind through center, unravel the legs, give yourself a squeeze. Feel free to end with a happy baby if that sounds nice. Whenever you're ready, go ahead and extend your legs long, flop the toes. Back as flat as possible. Any adjustments you need to feel more comfort. Try to have zero expectations and zero judgment. Just meet yourself where you are. Some days the mind is a little scattered and chaotic. Some days it's more calm. You're not judging either one. Just notice the thoughts, notice the breath. Practice patience with yourself. For this too is a practice. Meet yourself exactly where you are. Deep breath in. Let it go. Shavasana. Slowly start to come back. Wiggle the fingers and the toes. Head side to side, and eventually a big, big stretch. Hug your knees in. Take what you need from your practice. The beautiful thing is 100 people could do the same poses in the same space at the same time, and each one could have a totally different experience. Take what you need off of your mat: patience, resilience, confidence, surrender, whatever that is. Roll off to one side and gradually make your way up to a seat. And then you can come back to the same class, the same practice, a different time, and have a totally different experience. Draw your hands to your heart center. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. Thank you for choosing to practice with me and allowing me to be your guide. Namaste. Hope you join us back next week for another fun yoga class. If you like this one, give it a thumbs up. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Share it with your family, friends, and of course, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Follow me on Instagram, and I just launched a new business venture, Yoga for Youth Athletes. So if you do have a child or a niece, a nephew, a friend that is a youth athlete, I would love for you to share it with them. I'll go ahead and put all the information in the description and put a little link in here. Thank you guys, enjoy.